Hello.
Hello.
This is Meg.
And this is Matt.
Sorry we haven't put up a video for a while. We hope that this video will give you a little bit more insight into why we haven't.
Yep. So one of the things we want to capture in our channel is, well, we want to capture both the positive and the negative experiences that we have. Vietnam isn't all diving and parties and cheap living. There are some sacrifices that are made for that. There are some things that just are not up to Western standards and what we're accustomed to.
So here's our story. So we went out about a month and a half ago for some dinner. Really great dinner, but a few hours after coming home, I started to feel super sick, and I was getting symptoms like body aches and nausea and upset stomach, and I thought I had food poisoning. So a few hours later, Matt had the same symptoms, and we both got really sick for a couple of days. What we noticed is that we never really got better, and we were having symptoms, or I was having symptoms rather, that I'd be like really hungry, and then I would want to eat something, and then as soon as I started eating it, I'd get really nauseous and not feeling really well. So
it became obvious that it wasn't just normal food poisoning that we were dealing with. There was something else going on, and so we started kind of doing some research and came across something pretty quickly when I was doing some search into food poisoning in Vietnam, and that is that Vietnam is one of the worst countries when it comes to parasites. Yes, parasites. Like, one of the things we found was that about 80%, one study showed that about 80% of people in Vietnam are infected with parasites a year. Other interesting data that we came across was like during some randomized studies, 52% of those sampled had hookworms. I think it was 50-some% had whipworms, and then another 42% had roundworms, and also tapeworms aren't all that uncommon here as well, it seems. And some of this comes from food, and some of it comes from water.
And don't worry, we're not showing any photos or videos or anything that's too gruesome. We're just talking about our experience.
I was going to, but she keeps me away from it, so she told me it wasn't a good idea, so I obliged.
You're welcome. So after doing this research, we decided that we were going to get some medication for it. This is our personal experience. In no way are we trying to say and diagnose anybody by this. If you feel like you have something going on, please consult a doctor.
Yeah, we are not physicians. We just happened to do some research and felt confident enough in what we were experiencing in the research that we had to go ahead and get medication on our own, although I can't say that I would recommend doing that for someone else. So go ahead and show them what we got here.
So this is what we researched, and we came to the conclusion would be the best medication to take. It is called albendazole, and they come in 400 milligram tablets. We got 3 of them. We took them for 3 days. It was about $3 US per person to take those 3 medication.
Yeah, one really nice thing about being in Southeast Asian countries, most of Asia in general, is medication is super cheap and also quite accessible. To get the medication, once we figured out what we needed, we walked down to the pharmacy and showed them a picture on our phones, and they gave it to us. They asked us how many we wanted. We paid for it. As she said, super cheap, simple process. Way less of a hassle than it would be in the States, and I'm sure that has as many negatives as positives in the grander picture. But for us, it was nice.
So you may be asking yourself, how does this happen? How do people get sick like this? And so we took some photos, or some videos rather, at our local market just to exemplify the different food handling practices that happens here. And here's some of those clips.
So, as you can see here, vendors are selling their food on the street. They usually lay out tarps and blankets and all kinds of things out on the road and display their goods. So one of the problems with this, as you can see, is that there's all this water that's lining the road. The thing that isn't pictured here is that this road is actually super active and there's lots of motorcycles and such going by, and this splashes the water and whatever else is in the water onto the food that is being sold. This is quite problematic because most of these vendors on the side are on the front of the market, and the back of the market is where most of the meat handling is done and butcheries are, and so the blood mixes in with the water and washes down the road. Additionally, as you can see here, there's garbage everywhere, just rotting vegetables, meat, and whatnot. Here I'm walking inside of the market, and again you can see rotting food everywhere. The floors are absolutely filthy and they look like they haven't been cleaned. I don't know if they're ever cleaned, to be completely honest. It's pretty bad and rather trashy. It's no wonder that people get sick here from eating, just because the sanitization standards and the food handling standards are so low. Meat is sitting out here completely unrefrigerated for the entire day, which I've ran into before, and believe it or not, you probably won't get sick from, but it still just compounds with everything else. You can see butcher's blocks and such in this area that I don't think are cleaned, because when the vendors leave, you can see the butcher block there, and it's just still completely covered with sorry for lack of better terms, but just meat and blood from the day's work. And here's the back, where this is where they handle chickens and ducks, and a lot of this water is what washes to the front of the market. So I recognize that some of this might be an insane turnoff and might make you say, I never want to go to Vietnam or Southeast Asia, but that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to make sure that you know that this is a problem here, and so that you know to take proper precautions when you are cooking or handling your food.
Hey guys, we hope that you found this video helpful. Thanks a lot for viewing it. If you did find it helpful or you appreciate our videos, please like and subscribe. I hate saying that. It makes me feel like a sellout. But the truth of the matter is that it actually really helps us.
Yep.
Once we get a certain amount of subscribers, we'll be able to monetize the channel, and then YouTube will start paying us for our content, which would be very helpful for us on our travels. So like and subscribe down below. We also have some really super exciting things coming up for you.
Yeah. Get stoked.
Get stoked, yes. I don't think we're going to spill the beans yet on what it is.
Tease them a little bit.
But we're going to be adding some very unique content to our channel that should hopefully help immerse you into what we're experiencing in the world around us. So.
Very immersive. Keyword right there.
So, again,
stay tuned.
Thank you. We'll have more for you soon.
Thanks.
Bye.